Hello everyone, welcome back to another Pokemon The Series, the beginning episode talk. So in this episode, the gang starts off by watching a battle of Bruno of the Elite Four. Finally, the concept of the Elite Four has been introduced into the series. However, the concept of champion is not really something that needs to be introduced yet, because technically in the Kanto games there is no champion. Because after you defeat Lance, he's like, you would have been champion if Blue wasn't faster. But we have our first Elite Four member, and I think also, to me, this is the perfect Elite Four member to introduce first, because this is also the guy who stays an Elite Four member between generations. Unlike the other two who decide to leave, and the other one that becomes champion. But Misty turns off the TV and is like, are you slacking off again? It's like, no, we're actually training. We're watching Bruno fight. He's an Elite Four member, okay? He's an important guy. Because they want to learn the secret of Pokemon, and the Elite Four must have cracked some kind of secret, and that is why they're the Elite Four. And then Ash's mom is like, I know where he is. According to rumor has it that he's on Mount Hideaway. Which, of course, that is the name. He's trying to hide away. So, let's head over to Mount Hideaway. However, the journey is very long, and it does seem like Misty is very tired. So we should probably just take a rest. And we rest at this shop, where the old woman has had some trouble with Meatball Thief. However, they later on appear again, and it turns out it was Team Rocket, and they do a fast-forwarded version of the motto, which is actually funny, because after that is done, Jesse and James are like out of breath, because they actually had to do it super fast. However, the old woman takes care of them by herself, and also then warns the gang of the fact that there are gigantic Onix around here. So the gang heads up the mountain. However, they see a giant trail and are like, hey, look, there's a road down there. Let's just jump down there. Which, you know, nobody thought about the forewarning that we had before. Okay, sure, why not? But anyway, jump down there, we walk, and then it turns out, yeah, that was made by Onix, so now we have to run away from Onix, and then there's a man who saves us, and it turns out it is Bruno of the Elite Four member. And before we go any further, I will say this: the voice actor that they chose for him is good. The dude who voices him is like, he's got that deep voice that I would expect from Bruno, and I could also hear a little bit of Lieutenant Surge. Don't know if it's the same voice actor, but he's really good. Just wanted to say that, because the thing is that when I heard him talk, that's actually what I imagined Bruno to sound like when I played the games. You know, have like this deep voice. The only difference is I don't think that this was a black person, because they usually have deeper voices. So that's the only thing where I would go, where it's like, maybe they should have hired a black person with like a really deep voice, as in like, you know, Kratos, for example, who is voiced by a black man in both games. Both of them are black people. And they do a fantastic job at voicing Kratos. They got that deepness. And I really like the deepness that Bruno has. Because in the games, he's like gigantic. He's like Lieutenant Surge, dude. He's like gigantic. So after that, they follow Bruno and are like, look, he's training for the league. He needs help. Please help him. Please share with us the secret of Pokemon. So Bruno's like, you'll do anything I say? Okay, fine. So let the training begin. And we kind of get some kind of like Roshi training in a way. I'll get into that later on. So first of all, we gotta grab some water with buckets and get it to the top of the mountain to Bruno. After that, we have to chop some wood. Then we gotta carry some rocks up there as well. And finally, we'll peel bark off of a twig. And it turns out we were basically just preparing food for Bruno. And then Bruno just eats the food. However, Brock is like, no, do not doubt Bruno yet, okay? He knows the secret. If I hit him with this thing, he'll dodge or he'll block it. And then he smacks him in the back of the head with like a log. Which he doesn't dodge because of the fact that, you know, he wouldn't have time to react. He's just eating his food. And then afterwards, he reveals that there is no secret, okay? There just isn't a secret. So then the gang leaves. And Team Rocket, they hear about the gigantic Onix, so they rocket one and then get trapped in a cave, which the gang has to save him, which I found funny because of the fact that Brock's Onix is so tiny. It's like a puny little thing. I even went, Brock's Onix is so adorable. It's such an adorable Onix. But like the water moves, they don't really work. The rock moves, they don't really work. It just causes him to be even more angry. So then Bruno is like, hey, stop this. I will take care of this. And then they're like, oh, what fighting Pokemon are you going to use? He's like, I'm going to use my bare hands. So he jumps down there. And he then also, Ash fell down. Bruno saved him. That happened too. But he jumps down there. And then he dodges Onix's attacks. And allows Onix to hit himself. And then he's like, Onix, please. I'm only here to help. what seems to be the problem? And then he sees a gap between the rocks of Onyx, and then he goes in there, and pulls out a Sand Slash. Apparently, a Sand Slash got stuck inside of this giant Onyx, and then afterwards, Bruno catches the giant Onyx because in the games, he has two Onyx on his team, which has always been stupid. There is Poliwrath and Primeape. What is wrong with you? Also, those are far better Pokemon than stupid Onix. Still has a base attack stat of just 45. You could have had a Primeape and a Poliwrath on your team instead, but no, we had to give those to Chuck because they were the forgotten fighting types of Kanto. And that also meant that Chuck didn't have any Johto fighting type Pokemon. Chuck should have had either a Hitmontop or a Heracross. And basically, Bruno was like, well, the secret to Pokemon is the fact that we should treat them nice. And they should treat us nice as well. We should live in the world peacefully. And that's it. It's just some kind of speech. You know the kind of speech. It's like, alright, speech time. And that's the end of the episode. And overall, I thought it was a really good episode. I really liked Bruno in this episode. I even got like flashbacks to Master Roshi's training. But I loved Bruno. Just like, I just forgot all of my stuff, so I need to make a fire. Help me with that. But even then, Bruno is a good guy because of the fact of how he helps Onyx. You can see that, okay, this is actually a good Pokemon trainer in that sense. Like, he deserves to be in the Elite Four just by doing that. However, little bit of an issue I have with Bruno. Why didn't we see Machamp? We saw Hitmonchan and Onyx, but we never saw him have a Machamp. Also, the fact that the gang is like, oh, hey, what's the secret to Pokemon? It's like, you should ask him how he trains his Pokemon. That is what you should ask. It's like what they do later on in the series. But here they don't. It's like, what is the secret to Pokemon? Like, there's some kind of cheat code in order to become an Elite Four member. No, it's just all about training. You just have to train your Pokemon. And that is what it really is all about. So, I would have liked to see how Bruno trains. Also, this is the one and only time Bruno will make an appearance in the Pokemon anime, sadly enough. So, even later on, we will not be seeing his Machamp, sadly enough. Even though it's his ace in the games, which I think is actually a very fitting ace. Because of the fact of how huge to do this, and he's got a big Pokemon as well as his ace. Him having a Primeape as an ace would not have worked. But overall, I thought that this episode was a lot of fun. So let me know what you guys thought about the episode in the comment section down below. And with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new, if you're not already, turn on notifications, and don't forget to check out the Let's Play channel, link in the description and at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys next time when we have the ancient puzzle of Pokemonopolis. Bye!